Hi again, this is the second video for the day. I must apologize to my viewers who've sent me messages. I've been quite busy, so I haven't been able to respond. Now I'm not so busy, so I'm going to catch up on all my YouTube business. So yeah, so one viewer I just saw, one of my favorite viewers, who follows my videos, asked me a question about reading in a foreign language and a bit about my experiences with that. Um, and I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to try and be very honest. I must say, as a disclaimer, I must admit that I probably am not the best language learner in the world. I love my language learning. It's probably the most important thing. Um, my favorite thing, my most important passion that I have. I just don't want to feel as though I just don't want to come across as though I'm claiming to be some sort of expert or someone that you would, someone that knows everything about the field, because I don't. My point, my mission on YouTube is to demonstrate that anybody can do what I'm doing. It's possible to learn a foreign language. And at the same time, I welcome people asking. I love when people ask me questions. I love it. Keep asking me. Keep watching my videos. Keep asking me questions. Um, just be aware that I'm not perfect, um, and in this field or any. But definitely, if you have questions, ask me and comment as well. I love hearing about people's different experiences and comparing. So anyway, reading in a foreign language, the language I've been my most recent language for reading would be Indonesian. I've been reading a lot in English lately simply because I find reading in a foreign language very difficult. At least the materials that I have. This is in all honesty. Um, I have been reading Murakami. Before that, I was reading in Indonesian, and I had a book which was Don't Sweat the Small Stuff in Love. Jangan meributkan masalah kecil dengan pasangan Anda. Basically, as you can tell, the title's in English. This is probably one of my most accessible adult books that I have in Indonesian. Indonesian is a straightforward language, as I've mentioned. However, reading in Indonesian is quite challenging because of vocab, and even when I think I have enough words, I still don't. But this particular book here is quite accessible for me. I can slowly make my way through it because the themes are very familiar to me. It's obviously an American book or an English book, and I'm familiar with Western concepts and things like that already. So it makes the book easier. It's been translated from English into Indonesian, which is still made for an adult, but the way that it's been translated so someone can pick it up quickly and know what the original author's intentions and ideas were without overcomplicating it and using really complicated words. I still struggle, but it's probably the best book I have at the moment. Yeah, not too easy and not too hard. The other books I have are extremely difficult in my opinion, especially this. I'll demonstrate. Okay, so I have some novels. This is quite a short one, which I'm sure I will be able to get through. That's not the worst of them. I also have some very large novels. They're like romance novels, which I bought very cheap for about $2, $3. It's very rare that you'll find books that cheap here in Melbourne. So I was lucky to find some Indonesian books. Yeah, Dicabik, Benci dan Cinta Tua. So these are, I'm sure I could get through bits of them, but I think I would probably get lost very quickly. I don't think, in all honesty, I could read this book from beginning to end like I could in English, even though I'm getting better very slowly. And you get the idea, so I'm not going to go into detail about these books because I don't know much. I haven't read them myself. So these are books I have for Indonesian. In future, I'd like to actually spend more time reading in Indonesian. It's a language I really want to be able to read in successfully and painlessly, well, more or less. I want to be able to pick up a book from front and read it to the end, front to back. That's what I want to be able to do. I don't have time to do that at the moment because that's quite a large commitment since I've started doing Chinese and I've got some other things. So I'm maintaining my Indonesian, but I'm not really reading at the moment. I'm just writing in Indonesian, journal and so on. Other languages, that's a future language I want to work on. Other languages, Italian, obviously. I think the viewer who commented is learning Italian, so this will be relevant to him. In Italian, there was a period probably about 3 years ago, 2010, where I was working mostly on Italian. I'm not doing it at the moment, but again, I'm maintaining by speaking. So Italian's my speaking language. I speak at home with my relatives, and Indonesian is my writing language, you could say. So I had there's some interesting books I wanted to get. Some adult books. I don't have many adult books. I've got some kids' stories also, but some of them are quite difficult too. Some of them are easy. Some of them are harder than others. This sort of, Del Toro, La Notte dei Draghi, the Knights of the Dragons and things like that. And in German, I did a bit of reading when I was doing German, Oktoberfest, with audio. If you can get these graded readers with audio, they're pretty good. I think he mentioned graded readers. Steve Kaufman's approach is just get straight into native content. There's nothing wrong with that, and I've tried doing that with my Indonesian books, but sometimes it's a bit painful because it's not easy you can't look up all the words you don't know. If you don't know 5 words, that's okay. If you don't know 20 words or 30 words or more, then it starts to be a big problem. And you can't always consult a dictionary while you're reading. It's very difficult. Partly why I've stopped reading at the moment. Need to find a better way of approaching that. But there's some of these children's books in Italian are very good. Get your hands on native children's books or graded readers if you're struggling with native content. You can take the plunge into native content. It's up to you. But if you feel overwhelmed, I would recommend graded readers or children's books. Even articles on Wikipedia are an excellent idea. Articles. I've been reading Indonesian articles. I'd find a topic of interest in English, and if there was an equivalent in Indonesian, I'd try to work my way through it. And the good thing about articles is that they, even if they're difficult, they're not extremely long like a novel, and they're in sections, so you can always find bits that interest you, and you can skip others if you really want. With a novel, it's really hard to get the gist of it. And you really have to read it all. Anything else, like short stories, kids' books, get your hands on these things, graded readers. That's what I would recommend. Reading in a foreign language is not all that easy when it comes to native content. And that's ultimately what you want to get to. You want to be able to read native content, of course. I just think it's a slow process. So get your hands on something that you can work your way through at least, even though it's difficult. So that's pretty much it. May make another video about Murakami books. If you have any other questions regarding reading or languages, reading foreign languages, ask me and let me know what you think. Thank you.